I'm happy to be in my 80s, like the rickety old, the plays
like
about
an
these
old
old
robot.
robots. Yeah, I'll literally be the outdated model.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.
Look at this. He's back at Maybe Happy Ending, and he's back at our show. Darren, Criss. Hello,
Hi.
Darren.
Hi, guys. Hi, guys. Oh, we're starting. We're on now.
Oh, there's
This
a
is it.
cowbell.
That must mean that we're on.
The cowbell is our way of saying game's on,
Thank
bitch.
you. Just before the cowbell went off, I was remarking about how I've now had the lovely pleasure of coming back to the show many, many times. It's great to see the fam, the radio fam, you guys, the Duran fam. But when I'm in a show, it's funny. Like I've been in it for. We're as of today, my friends, as of this week. Maybe Happy Ending has been on Broadway for a full year, so that's something to celebrate.
A lot of shows don't make it quite to a year.
That is true.
Nope.
But
And I'm going to talk about this in a second, about the business of show business on Broadway, because it's tricky.
It is tricky, but I would say so is anything in any entertainment sphere. To tie bow on what I was going to say, because I got to chase that rabbit before it gets away. People who saw me at the beginning of the show that have come back many months later will go, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're still in this," because you go live your own life, you do stuff, and then suddenly they go, "Wow, and you've just been here doing the show." I'm like, "Yeah, I have," and that's how I feel about coming here, where I'm like, "You guys are here every day doing this, kicking ass, taking names." And I go off and I do something like a show, and I come back, and you're here looking beautiful, being cool as ever. So it's nice. 30 years coming up?
Yeah, 30
Next year will be our 30th year doing this.
Oh, my God. You know, it's crazy. Look at this screen. Remember the times where you could actually come radio ready? You didn't have to look?
Yes, I like those times.
Yeah, that was...
Different world.
Well, it looks
Different
like you're
worlds.
radio ready today, Darren.
Well, thank you very much.
I'm
A face for radio.
Awesome. Obviously, you have non-radio events today because you're all dressed up and looking
Well, I knew
fine.
I was going to see you guys.
Oh,
I wanted to look up. But you were talking about, yes, Broadway, it's a tough one. It's
okay, so 1 year, you said?
Yeah, 1 year.
Okay, so Maybe Happy Ending. We've all seen it. Loved
Yes.
it beyond, of course.
Blaska Theater 8 times a week. Come on by.
And thank you.
We
Throw
take
that
all
in.
kinds.
And there are a lot of shows that even though they could be good, they, for some reason they don't make it. It could be a business thing. It could be a whatever thing.
Yeah, we don't have enough time to unpack the gnarly ups and downs of the why of that. But I quote my friend Criss on this one. If you think of Broadway as a service industry with a high turnover rate, it sort of shifts your perspective on it, because that's just essentially what it is. You're just turning over things often, for better or for worse. And that's just the name of the game. It's sort of like the restaurant industry,
But
right?
I don't know if you saw the shows, but like A Dead Outlaw, A Real Women Have Curves, those were incredible shows.
They were?
But I felt like they weren't even given a chance. It's like they give them a limited time. If it doesn't pop, that's it.
You know what? I mean, you guys have had hundreds, if not thousands, of artists come in here and sit here with great songs, great potential, great talent. And there's an alchemy that goes so far beyond what is in our control. Most of it is out of our control, in our own careers, our own lives, that if we all knew what that math was that could maximize our chances for longevity, we'd all be living in castles in the sky. But it's simply just not the case. So, it's why for any of those shows, you work hard, you tell a good story, you try and leave an impact. And, I always say one of the great things about the show, the many great things, is that if it had only lasted a little while, I'd still feel as passionate and enthusiastic about it, because I still think that it is special, and we're very pleased and grateful to be that rare breed that is still around, and I hope will be around for many, many, many more moons. But it's really not up to us. Something caught fire, and we're just going to keep trying to fan that flame as best we can.
The show caught fire. You did as well. Your first Tony Award.
Yay.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Where do you
cool.
keep it in the
We
house?
fooled them good. I put it on top of the piano where I keep a lot of my stuff. Yeah. It's
Okay,
nice.
so now maybe a Grammy, right?
That's right. We got nominated for a Grammy this past week. Yeah.
So
Pretty
you
cool.
could be a get.
Well, I've been trying to tell myself that my whole life. I tell. Yeah.
No. Hold on.
That was a good dad joke. That was,
Yeah.
that was good.
Oh my God! Now that's right. Now you're Mr. Dad joke.
Yeah. But I think that gives too much credit to dads. I feel like they're good dumb jokes. Let's just call them that. Like there's anyway.
Dumb
Okay,
jokes.
so the get being the Grammy,
The Emmy.
the Emmy, and the Tony. But there's got to be an O at some point. Yeah, are you going to go for the O? Is that? I mean,
I don't think it's really up to me. I mean, back to that alchemy. It's like there's so many things that are outside of my control. I'm very touched and tickled Yes, you can make
You're
whatever joke you
tickled.
want. I'm tickled and touched by people's interest in that superlative because I just see what's behind it, which is people who are wishing me well at whatever level that certain category leads to. But look, at the end of the day, you just want to work on stuff that you like, and hopefully it resonates with people in a way that matters when you leave this earth. Like
he
that,
wants an Oscar. I can tell.
I mean,
right now.
I don't know. Like,
doesn't?
if that was to happen, hopefully it would be for something that I gave as much of a shit about as it has been the things that I love, like that I've been able to accrue over the years. Like,
Well, obviously you've been going for the O. You have 3 kids.
there you go. Who's doing the dad jokes? Jeez.
Those are dirty old dad jokes.
Those are daddy jokes. Those are Elvis daddy jokes. Different
Sorry.
level. Yeah.
Hey, so I just kind of flashed back. It was kind of weird while you were talking. All the years you've been coming to see us on our show, Darren, and God, remember you used to come to the apartment and I'd make a bad dinner and you'd play
Yeah, that's
music
why I
for me?
stopped coming. That's why I stopped going. It's done.
Anyway, but look at the road you've traveled since then. I mean,
And you guys have just been here the whole time.
we're just watching. We just keep moving along. You do different things though. We do the same friggin' thing every day.
What a gift though, right? Like what a
But
dream.
look
It's
at what
Yeah.
was the play that was downtown for so many years. I think the longest running at the time. Try to remember the time.
Oh, the Fantastics. Yeah, it was
that
off Broadway.
That was off Broadway for how many years?
A long time, record-breaking time. I forget, but yes, that's from the Fantastics. That was an off-Broadway darling that just ran and ran and ran.
Can you imagine being a part of a show, but you being in the show for that long, for a dozen years?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's like nice work if you can get it, right? I think with Broadway shows, the fact that they can last so long is really unlike any other like mainstream medium. An album will come out, they literally call it like a cycle, a promotional cycle, a tour cycle, and then you're on to the next thing. Movies, same thing. Books, same thing. But if the rare breeds that you keep listening to, you keep coming back to, the books you keep coming back to, manage to have this sort of enduring, timeless thing that only so many musicals and pieces of art can have. And it wasn't part of the plan. It's something that you kind of dream about maybe in the back of your mind, but like, again, it's not in your control. So if this show has half the life of the Fantastics, like, dude, that is an insane blessing.
Can't
like,
imagine.
I mean, whether or not I'm in it or not, because I got to originate it, I feel part of this thing like forever, in the way that, you associate certain performers or certain writers with shows forever. Like, this thing will outlive me, with any luck. And that's something as far as, legacy or really asking yourself like what you've been contributing to in your life. Like, this show is so much bigger than me, and for those of you that have seen it, it just has so much more to say and has such a hopeful, beautiful spirit to it that is so uplifting and moving and cathartic, and all these things that hopefully if you haven't seen the show, it will pique your interest to go check it out.
It's really an incredible show.
Yeah, there's
So in fact,
something just really, really beyond.
It's weird being in the audience and watching you do it, and
Yeah.
then thinking, "Oh my God, I know that guy."
And he's
Yeah.
a robot.
and
Yeah.
Gandhi was with me the night we saw it,
I
and
was.
I looked at you and I said, "I keep forgetting it's Darren
Yep.
because your acting in that role is just incredible."
Thanks, man.
So maybe happy ending. You were in it. You started it. You were out for 9 weeks, and now you're back. I didn't know you were back.
Oh, of course. I just took a little break.
But
You know,
wait,
it's
no,
like-
they ran a commercial and it says starring Darren Criss. I mean, they're running an old commercial.
No. I'll be in this thing for as long as I can. Like I plan to. If you for musical theater nerds out there, I think it was Topol who was one of the famous Tevias, if you know Fiddler on
yeah.
the Roof, and he played that role well into his like 80s. God love him. Like he would keep coming back, and people would keep coming back to see him because it was like, sweet, I get a chance to see the guy. Like, I'm happy to be in my 80s, like the rickety old, the plays
like
about
an
these
old
old
robot.
robots. Yeah, I'll literally be the outdated model. It might be a little sad, but it'll be a little sweet.
squeaky.
Yeah, little squeaky wheels. By that point, I'll probably actually have cybernetic parts. Like, who knows? But like, I fully intend on this is a part of my life for the rest of my life, and gladly so. And so, what's a year in a year of, in a time of forever?
Are you guys doing anything special for the 1 year anniversary?
I can't think of a funner place to work. We have so many fun things backstage, all the things that you can imagine theater kids would do, just as far as like the camp of it all. It feels like summer camp. We always have like a weekly game or some kind of thing that we're getting everybody in the building involved with. So here's some Broadway lingo for you guys. It's very common in Broadway to have a snob. Snob is Saturday night on Broadway. So we'll throw like a big party on the year anniversary. I think we all had a little screening in our big basement, the Elephant Room, which is this sort of historically massive piece of theater space to just kind of hang in at the Belasco Theater. We did a little screening of Wall-E, had some drinks and hung out. So that was also the same weekend as our Grammy nomination, so that was something of a year celebration that was unexpected. But man, like it's always a celebration. And I have to say, and I know this sounds like a canned line, but anytime things like these acknowledgments from third parties are bestowed upon us, they are just like a bonus round to the already amazing feeling and the award enough concept of just being in a show that works, that you love, that people love. Like that at the lowest level of entry is the highest level of functioning in commercial art.
Wow, that's very well put. It sounds a bit canned, but very...
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that. I don't think I've ever been that articulate about it. Please.
But see, the more articulate you are, the more canned, but canned is good.
Yeah.
You can rely on canned.
Yeah, canned foods are nice. They last.
I mean,
like our show. Maybe happy ending at the Belasco Theater.
That's right.
So it was one of my favorite shows that I have seen, and I'm not just saying that because you're here. I've told both of them. I really, really liked it because it reframed something for me.
And what was
in a
that?
really important way. Without giving away too much, one of the common themes throughout is maybe the ending is not the most important part.
Yes.
And I think about that now with everything because there are so many things that people let get ruined because they didn't like the end of it. Meanwhile, they're not focusing on how amazing that whole journey was, like Game of Thrones.
Right.
So many people crapped on the show because they didn't like the way it ended, but it was a great show.
I'm really glad that your takeaway from maybe happy ending was grace and forgiveness towards the ending of Game of Thrones.
The show's terrible, but no, I loved it. I thought it was awesome. And I think now, especially, I remember when you came in and you were talking about it, the rise of AI had started, but it wasn't where it is now. And now we're looking at these humanoid robot things, I guess. Is that what we would call them?
Sure, yeah.
Because I think a lot of people might not know what this is about, but they retire.
Yeah.
And what happens to them after. And it's got me thinking about all of that, too, now. And I
She
just
was
think
thinking.
I
She was thinking deep that night. As a matter of fact,
Thinking.
after the crowds were leaving the theater, the Belasco Theater,
Where you can see maybe happy ending.
8 times a week.
she actually said, "Can we sit here for a second and just think this through?" I went, "What? I mean, we're going to go backstage and see Darren."
that is-
She said, we need to process this for a second. Remember that?
Yep.
That's
We
the
sat there and
dream.
we
That is
processed.
the dream. I mean, how often? I mean, also, and not like in a serious, like bummer way. There is just a lot to unpack from the show. That is kind of a joyous experience.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome.
There's a lot, like I said, catharsis. I don't use that word lightly. Like people bring in a lot of their life into the show, from the highs to the lows, and a lot of it does inevitably exist within the show. I know I'm being kind of like broad here, but any number of experiences that people have had will tell me after the show, this happened to me, or this is currently happening to me, and seeing that kind of play out in a way that I didn't expect in the show was really struck a chord, and it helps to see those things reflected in art, which is why we connect to art, and especially in places that you don't expect it. I feel like that's where we are our most dilated, in the places that we don't expect, right? So if I said, come see this show, it's really gonna speak to that thing you're going through, then you're kind of got your arms folded, being like, all right, cool, like impress me, like move me, as opposed to we kind of we knock you down, knock your walls down with a bit of whimsy, with this kind of out there concept of like, okay, we're in the future, they're the robots, ? I guess there's music, okay, whatever, and it softens you into this place of being open to really human concepts. And that's why it's so fun every time to I like feeling an audience's walls and guards go down and let us in, because there's a lot of beautiful things to discuss afterwards.
Which we even discussed the next day. All right, another focus of this was, who are you if your main function is no longer what you're doing during the day? So for us, if we're no longer doing these jobs, who are we actually?
Who are your core? Yeah.
And there's a lot to think about in a
Yes,
good way.
there is.
I thought it was great.
Absolutely.
Just turning us on, Darren Criss is here. The Tony Award-winning musical, Maybe Happy Ending, at the Belasco Theater.
Yeah, 3 times a week.
That's it for you.
Don't forget about the plant.
The plants,
The plant.
There's a plant that's, again, this is what's really fun, and
Wait, are we spoiling something with the
No,
plant?
but I feel
No.
like this plant has become like
it has
an
its
icon.
own. It has this own sort of iconography,
Yes.
which
the
is
plant
cool.
does win. The plant should win an award. I think the plant should beat you
For those
out
that are
these
listening
awards.
that are like, what the
What the
fuck is
hell?
this show about? Like, that's what's so great, is that they're like, think of.
They should give the plant to Tony. Screw you.
I mean, it basically did. There are so many shows and movies and books and songs that if you were trying to explain on a radio show, like you didn't hear it or see it, you would just scratch your head. If I was trying to explain to you the Phantom of the Opera or like, Sweeney Todd, you're like, what is that? You have to really kind of be in there, and once it becomes part of the cultural zeitgeist, it sort of kind of just becomes part of the fabric in the way that you see that rose, you see that mask, you're like, oh yeah, Phantom. You don't think about me, you don't think about robots, you think about like the show. Whereas that plant, Hwa Boon, which for those of you that speak Korean, that's house plant. This is a major character in our show, and yes, it is just a plant, but it's so much more than a plant. Has its own Instagram account.
It is an icon.
Taking on a whole life
bigger
of
than
its
a plant.
own.
We've been talking about the plant for 5 minutes now.
Well, it also has a lot of symbolism and a lot of things that speak to some of the things that Gandhi and I were just talking about. So yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot, guys.
Okay, but also the set. I love the set. The set itself, it takes you to a different place. You've never been watching a show like this.
I think
anywhere on Broadway.
Well, anytime you see any high concept, and when I say that, I don't necessarily mean sci-fi. I mean like a period piece or something that is sort of like unlike your own world. I think one of the goals of creating a world unlike yours is to present a place that you as an audience member would like to be a part of and like to visit, whether that's sonically, the music landscape, like I want to live in that world, or like look at that room, I want to live in that world, like what a cool aesthetic. That is one of, we were talking about like the themes of the show are kind of loosely talking about there's a lot of sort of profound ideas in the show. That's like one ingredient. The music is so fun and accessible and sophisticated, but like very easy and fun and earwormy. And then, you have the set. So what I love getting to say about this musical, which is unlike, this is something that I haven't been able to say about anything else that I've ever done. This is the most accessible piece of art that I've ever done in my life. In that, like, there's no buy-in entry. There's no, prerequisite rules for you to enjoy this. You can know everything about Broadway, nothing about Broadway, and still enjoy this. It's short and sweet, it's tight, it's effective. And if you've never seen a Broadway show in your life, right, and you've kind of heard from people like why we go to see Broadway shows, you go, I guess I would want three things. I guess I want like a spectacle, you want to be dazzled in some way. I guess it's a musical, so yeah, give me some good music. And I guess I want to feel something, right? Check, and check. So yes, between all those set pieces, to me, this show is the best example of what this art form has to offer. Of course, I am biased, but I said that even before I joined it. When I was looking at it, I was like, wow, this is something that is worthwhile.
And it's one act.
Baby! In and out of 90 minutes.
For people like me with like very short attention span.
Yeah. It's
the entire play is one act. It's 14 minutes long.
It was 14 minutes before Elvis fell asleep because it was past his bedtime.
You've got to go see Darren. Darren, of course, the Tony Award-winning Darren Criss in Maybe Happy Ending at the Blasco Theater. Do a search and buy your tickets today. But take people you love and people you can process it with.
Yeah. And you'll make that dinner reservation afterwards in time. You can make it early enough to have your conversation on time.
There you go.
Right.
Darren, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's always great to see you. Happy early 30th.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.